Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Dear friends, in this video, let us learn about crop production and management. Class 8th, chapter 1. Syllabus has been changed, so this is your first chapter, crop production and management. Now friends, let's start with our lesson. We all know that all living organisms like green plants, animals need food for survival. Can you live without food? ನೀವು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಲಾರ್ದೆ ಇರಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಓಕೆ, ನಾವಿರ್ಬೋದು. We can live for one day. We can live even for 2 days. But children, I cannot live without food even for 1 day. Can you live without food? Not only us, even green plants and animals cannot live without food. They need food for their survival. ಯಾವುದೇ ಜೀವಿ ಬದುಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಿರಬೇಕು? ಫುಡ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. The green plants prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Not only human beings or animals, even plants need their food. And the green plants prepare their own food. And that process is called as photosynthesis. Plant in ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. It takes the water, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, sunlight, and in the presence of chlorophyll present in the leaf, it produces its own food, and this process is called as photosynthesis. Plants produce their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Then what about us? What about the animals? How do animals prepare their food? Animals ಮತ್ತೆ human beings. Actually, human beings are also animals. ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? Let me tell you. Animals, including humans, cannot prepare their own food. We cannot prepare our own food. Then what do? Animals depend on plants for their food directly or indirectly. Animals, including humans, cannot prepare their own food. They obtain their food directly or indirectly from plants. ನಮಗೆ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. We directly or indirectly depend on plants. So for that, what humans do? Humans grow plants and rear animals to meet their daily requirement. For our food, what do? We grow plants. We grow rice, ragi, wheat, and we also rear animals. ನಾವು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ನೂ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಫಿಶಸ್, ಗೋಟ್, ಶೀಪ್, hen for chicken and for eggs. We rear them. ನಾವು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಬಟ್ why do we need food? ನಮಗೆ ಫುಡ್ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು? ನಾವು ಡೈಲಿ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಳನೇ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. We eat food to get energy. The energy from the food helps us to do all the activities in our daily life. ನಾವು ತಿನ್ನೋ ಆಹಾರದಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಡೈಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. And the food we eat also protects us from the diseases. It provides us immunity. Okay children, so eat good food children. Since we need food, how can we produce food to a large number of people in our country? Not only in country, for the whole world. How do we manage to get food for the whole world? For this, food has to be produced on a large scale. In order to provide food for a large population, regular production Proper management and distribution of food is very, very necessary. Children, in the olden days, till 10,000 BC, people were nomadic. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರಲ್ಲ. They were moving in groups from one place to another. They were wandering in groups from place to place. ಅವರು ಫುಡ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮತ್ತು ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್. ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಏನು ತಿಂತಾಯಿದ್ರು? ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಈಟ್ ರಾ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ and started hunting for animals. ಅವರು ಹಸಿ ಮಾಂಸವನ್ನು ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ರು. It was when the early man don't know about agriculture. Later, he could cultivate land and produce rice, wheat and other food crops. That was the birth of agriculture. Children, when plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on large scale, it is called as crop. For example, crop of wheat means all the plants grown in the field are that of wheat. This is the definition of crop. When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on large scale, it is called as crop. Okay, children, ನನಗೆ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಇದೆ. ಐ ಲೈಕ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನಿಂಗ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಗಾರ್ಡನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈ ಮಾಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸೋನ್ ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋಸ್, brinjal and some vegetables. Can I call it as a crop? No, we cannot call it as a crop because it is not grown on the large scale. Only if it is cultivated on the large scale, it is called as crop. And children, there are different types of crops. There are different types of crops which are as follows. First one is cereals, second one is vegetables and fruits. These are the types of crops. Children, do you know what are cereals? Any grass cultivated for the edible, which means eatable, components of its grain is called cereal. For example, oats, corn, rice, wheat, barley, etc. These are all cereals. Next we have vegetables. Vegetables are any part of the plant which is consumed by humans as food. It covers nutritional deficiencies and gives minerals and different types of vitamins. Vegetables are very, very important in our diet. They give us minerals and vitamins. For example, lady's finger, cabbage, peas, capsicum, cauliflower and many more. Next, fruits. Fruits are the seed-bearing structures of flowering plants. For example, banana, apple, cherry, guava, grapes and watermelon. Friends, crops can be classified on the basis of the season in which they are grown. Crops na 3 types agi divide ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ based on the season in which they are grown. First one is kharif crop, rabi crop and zaid crop. First, let us know what are kharif crops. These are the crops grown in rainy season during the month of June to October. Kharif crops na rainy season nalli grow ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ in the month of June to October. They are also known as summer or monsoon crop. Seeds of these crops are sown in the beginning of the monsoon. They are harvested by September or October. For example, maize, sugarcane, soya bean, groundnut and paddy. The next type of crops are rabi crops. Dear children, these crops are sown in winter between November and December. These crops are known as winter crops. These crops are harvested in the month of March or April. For example, wheat and barley. These crops require less amount of water to grow. But whereas the kharif crops need more amount of water to grow. The next is zaid crops. These crops are sown in summer season and are also known as summer crops. For example, watermelon, cucumber. These crops require excess heat to grow. Children, cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. These practices or tasks are referred as agricultural practices. It is not a very easy task for a farmer to grow crops. It is not easy. I'm telling you, children, it is not at all easy. There are so many activities which are involved in agriculture, and those activities are called as agricultural practices. Now let us know what are those practices. The first one is preparation of soil. Second one is sowing. The third one is adding manure and fertilizers. Fourth one is irrigation. Fifth one is protection from weeds. Sixth one is harvesting. And the seventh one is storage. These are the various agricultural practices which a farmer has to follow. Now we shall learn about them in detail. The first step of the agricultural practice is preparation of soil. It is one of the most important tasks in agriculture. It is to turn the soil and loosen it. It allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily even when they go deep into the soil. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಏನು, ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ನ ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಲೂಸನ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸಿಂದ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ to breathe easily. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. These organisms are friends of farmers. Children, do you know that the earthworms are considered as the farmer's friend? Edikke gotta? They further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. And humus is the most important material for the crop. It provides the minerals for the soil. It enriches the soil. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilting or ploughing. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called as tilting or ploughing. And this is done using a plough. Children, like pencil, eraser, pen is your tool. Similarly, farmers too has their tools. These are agricultural implements. Agricultural implements are those tools that helps in agriculture, and they are very necessary for agriculture. For example, plough, hoe, seed drill and cultivators. So let us know what is plough. Plough, it is made up of wood and drawn by a pair of bull or any animals. You already know what is ploughing. Ploughing is defined as loosening and turning of soil, which is done by the plough. You can see in the picture, this is how the plough looks. This plough is being used since ancient times for tilting the soil. adding fertilizers to the crops, removing the weeds and turning the soil. It contains a strong rectangular iron strip called plowshare. The main part of the plow is the long log of wood which is called as plow shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plow. The indigenous wooden plow is increasingly being replaced by iron plows nowadays. Children, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Learn with Spurti. I will explain you the lesson and I will also provide you the notes. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also please comment down below. Was this video helpful for you? And if you have any doubts, I will surely help you out. Coming back to the lesson, the next instrument is hoe. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends and works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. The next instrument used is cultivators. Nowadays, plowing is done by tractors driven cultivators. The use of cultivators save the labor and time. The technology has made the work of the farmer easy and it also saves the time. The next step is sowing. It is defined as the process of putting seeds in the soil. The process of putting seeds in the soil is called as sowing. There are different methods by which this sowing is done. Now let us learn about them. For sowing, we use seeds. Seeds are selected on the basis of high-yielding variety. HYV seeds should be used. Seeds should be sown at right depth. There should be a proper distance maintained between each seed. Overcrowding should be avoided. Seeds should be free from diseases. These are the things that a farmer keeps in his mind while the sowing of seeds. If a farmer takes the low quality seeds, the yield will be very poor. So to get the high yield variety seed should be used. And also the seed should be sown at right depth. There should be a proper distance between them. Overcrowding of seeds should be avoided and seeds should be free from the diseases. Now let us learn the different methods of sowing. There are different methods of sowing which are explained. The first method of sowing is broadcasting. It is a method in which seeds are sown manually directly by scattering in the soil. Farmer just throws the seeds into the soil. There is a disadvantage of this method. It is that it leads to uneven distribution of seeds and it also reduces the crop yield. The next method is seed drill. In a seed drill, an iron funnel is placed on the top. Seeds are put in the funnel and then released in a soil furrows. The advantage of this method is that it saves time and seeds are sown at the right depth. The next method is transplantation. In this method, seeds are sown first in the nurseries. ನಾವು ಈ ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಫಸ್ಟೇ ನಾವು ಸೀಡ್ಸನ್ನು ನರ್ಸರೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಿತೀವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದ ಸೀಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಮೇನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. In this method, seeds are grown in the nurseries, then the saplings are transferred to the main field. For example, paddy. This was all about sowing. The next step is manure and fertilizers. They both play an important role in the production of healthy growth. These are added to the soil to maintain the fertility of soil. These manures are organic substance obtained by the decomposition of plants and animal waste. Children, there are different types of manure. The first one is farm manure. It consists of cow dung and urine of the cattle. The second one is compost. It is formed by decomposition of plants and animals. Children, if decomposition is done in presence of earthworms, it is called as vermicompost. And if the decomposition is done in the presence of bacteria, it is known as bacterial compost. Next, we have green manure. It consists of decomposed leguminous plants like sunham. Children, leguminous plants are the plants whose roots have special bacteria, and that bacteria is helpful in the nitrogen fixation. ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. This was about manures. Now let us know what are fertilizers. Fertilizers are chemicals which are rich in a particular nutrient. Some examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Now children, let us know the difference between the fertilizers and manures. Fertilizer is a man-made inorganic salt, whereas the manure is the natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle, dung and plant residue. Children, it is a very important question to differentiate fertilizers and manure. Fertilizer is a man-made, whereas the manure is the natural substance. Fertilizers are prepared in factories, whereas manure can be prepared in the fields. Fertilizers do not provide any humus to the soil, whereas the manure provide a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, whereas the manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. But children, manure is very best for the crops. Let us know the advantages of manure. The organic manure is considered better than fertilizers. This is because it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases the number of friendly microbes. It improves the texture of the soil. These are the advantages of the manure. The next step involved is irrigation. What is irrigation? It is the supply of water to plants. Supply of water to plants is called as irrigation. Sources of irrigation are: we can get water from the ponds, lakes and even tube wells. Let us know the traditional method of irrigation. The traditional methods of irrigation involves moat. Water is pulled out from the well and directly supplied to the plants. Next traditional method is Dekli. In Dekli, buckets are used and then with the help of rope, water is pulled out from the well. Not only well, it is pulled out from any water surface and it is then given to the crops. The next one is Raat. In this method, buckets are knotted with rope on the wheel and then bulls rotate the handle, due to which wheel turned up and then water gets filled into the buckets and use it for different purposes. Nowadays, we are using modern methods of irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation helps us to use water economically, and the main methods used in are as follows. The first one is sprinklers. In this method, water is distributed through a system of perpendicular pipes using pumps. It is then sprayed into the air over entire soil surface through spray heads on rotating nozzles so that it breaks up into small water droplets which fall on the ground. It is suitable for use of all types of soil. This method of supplying water is similar to the rainfall. The next method is drip irrigation. In this system, water falls drop by drop just at the position of root. Drip irrigation is also called as trickle irrigation. This is an ideal watering method. It saves water, it also reduces soil erosion. Water and nutrients reach directly to the place where it is needed. It also saves the time and labor. Giving excess of water to the crop is also harmful. Due to excess irrigation, seeds do not respire properly. Due to excess irrigation, the roots may not also grow well. So, proper amount of water should be given to a plant. The next step in the crop production is protection of crops. Children, crops can be attacked by the pest. Crops should be protected from the pest. These can destroy the entire crops. Pests are organisms that damage crops. For example, insects, bacteria, etc. These pests are very dangerous and can affect crops in various ways. They lower the quality of crops, they reduce yield, they bore inside the crop. Children, these pests can be removed by using pesticides. Pesticides are chemicals that kill the pest. For example, DDT, DHC and Thinon. The next enemy of the crop is weeds. Weeds are unwanted plants that grow with the main plant. The process of removing these weeds is called as weeding. These weeds compete with the main crops for nutrients, space, sunlight, water, etc. Due to weeds, the main crop get affected. To remove these weeds, there are different methods. Let us see the methods of weeding. The first method is manual method. It is the method in which weeding is done by hands. This process is time consuming. Next one is weedicides. These are chemicals that are used to kill weeds. For example, 2,4-D, etc. In this method, we spray the chemicals. After all this, the next method is harvesting. The process of cutting and gathering mature crop from the field with sickle is called as harvesting. There are different methods of harvesting. The first one is threshing. It is a process of separating grain from the hay. The next method is winnowing. It is a process of separating chaff from grains. My dear children, I am going to make another video on the methods of harvesting. I will explain the methods of harvesting detailedly in that video. Children, we celebrate special festivals associated with the harvest seasons like Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi and Diwali. This is the happiest season for the farmers. He has worked for whole year and the lovely crops are in his hands. After harvesting, the next method is storage. Grains obtained by threshing are dried in the open. The dried grains are stored in gunny bags and placed in a proper ventilated cemented halls. They are called as godowns. For storing large quantities of grain, big godowns are used. Specific chemical treatments are used to protect them from pests and microorganisms. So, dear children, please do not waste the food. Now that you know it is very difficult for growing a crop, I'm not telling you to not eat food, but you just take how much you need the food. There are millions of people who are sleeping without the food. Take how much you want and please do not waste the food. I know that you are all very good children and you will never waste the food. Children, we also get food from animals. How do we get food from animals? By animal husbandry. It is the process of breeding, feeding and caring of livestock for food and other useful purposes. There are meat and egg giving animals. These are the animals which gives us meat and egg. They give us egg and meat. Next is draft animals. These are the working animals like buffaloes, camels and horses. There are also mulch animals which gives us milk. As animals are serving us for various purposes, so there is a need to take care of them. This will help us to improve livestock and extract minimum use from them. Moreover, their dung, urine, etc. is also used for manure. Children, that's all. If this video was helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe. And please don't forget to comment down below. See you in next video. Until then, take care, keep learning.